Welcome, language learners, to another exciting and extended episode of the Learn and Listen podcast. I'm Sarah, and with me today is my wonderful co-host, Mike.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. We have a very interesting and comprehensive topic to discuss.
That's right, Mike. Today, we're going to have an in-depth conversation about something that's both fun and very practical: shopping at the mall.
Exactly, Sarah. This is a topic that many of our listeners might find useful in their daily lives. We'll cover a wide range of vocabulary and situations related to mall shopping.
Absolutely. And for our dear listeners, have you ever found yourself in a large shopping mall, surrounded by English signs and announcements, feeling a bit overwhelmed or lost?
Well, don't worry. After this extended episode, you'll feel much more confident about shopping in English. We'll go through everything step by step.
Let's begin by discussing some essential vocabulary. Mike, what's the first word that comes to your mind when you think about a mall?
That's a great question, Sarah. The first word that comes to my mind is department store. This is a fundamental concept for understanding how malls are organized.
Could you explain in detail what a department store is for our listeners, Mike?
Of course, Sarah. I'd be happy to. A department store is a large retail establishment that sells a wide range of consumer goods. These goods are typically organized into separate departments or sections, each specializing in a particular type of merchandise.
That's a very thorough explanation, Mike. Can you give us some examples of the types of departments we might find in a typical department store?
Certainly, Sarah. In a typical department store, you might find departments for women's clothing, men's clothing, children's clothing, accessories, cosmetics, home goods, electronics, and sometimes even furniture.
Serum, Dean's Lord.
Thank you, Mike. That's a very comprehensive list. Now, let's use this word in a sentence to help our listeners understand how to use it. Here's an example. I need to buy a gift for my mother's birthday, as well as a new suit for work and some towels for my bathroom. I think I'll go to the department store because they have all of these items in one place.
That's an excellent example, Sarah. It really shows how convenient a department store can be when you need to buy different things for various purposes.
Exactly, Mike. Now, let's move on to another important term related to shopping malls. Can you think of another useful word our listeners should know?
Certainly, Sarah. Another very important term is food court. This is a place that shoppers often visit during their mall trips.
That's a great explanation, Mike. Can you tell us about some of the types of food one might typically find in a mall food court?
Certainly, Sarah. In a typical food court, you might find a wide range of cuisines. This could include fast food burgers, pizza, Chinese food, sushi, Mexican food, sandwich shops, salad bars, and often some local or regional specialties. Perfect example, Sarah. It shows how the food court can be a convenient meeting place and how it offers choices to suit different tastes.
Now let's discuss a very useful phrase that you might hear or use while shopping for clothes. The phrase is to try something on. Mike, can you explain what this phrase means?
Certainly, Sarah. To try something on means to put on a piece of clothing in the store to see if it fits properly and looks good on you before deciding whether to buy it or not.
That's right, Mike. This is a crucial part of clothes shopping. Can you give us an example sentence using this phrase?
Of course, Sarah. Here's an example. I really like the style of this jacket, but I'm not sure about the size. I'm going to try it on to see if it fits me properly.
Excellent example, Mike. And when you want to try clothes on, you'll need to find the fitting room or changing room. Can you explain what these terms mean?
Certainly, Sarah. A fitting room, also known as a changing room, is a small private enclosure in a clothing store where customers can try on clothes before purchasing them. It usually has a mirror and sometimes a small bench or hooks for your convenience.
Thank you, Mike. Now, let's practice how to ask for the location of a fitting room. Can you give us an example sentence?
Of course, Sarah. You might say something like this. Excuse me, could you please tell me where the fitting rooms are? I'd like to try on these pants and this shirt.
Excellent, Mike. And the response might sound something like this. Certainly, the store name is on the second floor, next to the escalator. If you go up the escalator near the food court, it will be on your right.
Speaking of escalators, Sarah, that's another important word to know when shopping in a mall. Can you explain what an escalator is?
Of course, Mike. An escalator is a moving staircase that transports people between floors of a building in a mall. Escalators are very common and convenient, especially when you're carrying heavy shopping bags.
That's right, Sarah. And for those who prefer not to use the escalator or stairs, there's always the elevator. Can you tell us the difference between an escalator and an elevator?
Certainly, Mike. While an escalator is a moving staircase, an elevator is a platform or compartment that moves up and down in a shaft to transport people or goods between the floors of a building. Elevators are especially useful for people with mobility issues or for shoppers with strollers or wheelchairs.
Thank you for that explanation, Sarah. Now let's talk about what happens when you're ready to buy something. You'll need to go to the cash register or checkout. Can you explain what these terms mean?
Of course, Mike. The cash register or checkout is the place in a store where you pay for the items you want to buy. It's usually a counter or desk with a machine that calculates the total cost of your purchases.
Excellent explanation, Sarah. And at the checkout, you might hear the cashier ask, will that be cash or card? Can you tell our listeners what this question means?
Certainly, Mike. When the cashier asks, will that be cash or card? They're asking how you would like to pay for your purchases. Cash refers to physical money like bills and coins, while card refers to a credit card or debit card. I love this part, Mike. Okay, everyone, here's your task. The next time you go shopping, try to use at least 5 of the new words or phrases we discussed today. Then come back to our YouTube video and leave a comment telling us how it went. Did you successfully ask for directions, find the fitting room, or use the escalator?
That's a fantastic idea, Sarah. It's a great way for our listeners to practice and reinforce what they've learned.
Absolutely, Mike. Remember, everyone, language learning is a journey, and every little step counts. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn and improve.
Well said, Sarah. And that brings us to the end of today's extended episode. We hope you enjoyed learning about shopping at the mall in English.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of the Learn and Listen podcast.
Until next time, happy learning and happy shopping.